think you're stuck in the wrong job? Or simply feel you're not meant for it? Gone are the days when job hopping was considered career suicide. Today on the show, we will bring you stories of youngsters who chose to do what really defined them. First up, the story of somebody who gave up his fancy job at Google to jump into the world of music. My colleague Simar reports.
Meet youngsters, the 21st century job hoppers. The Dutch multinational HR firm Marquardt Randstad Work Monitor reviewed mental mobility intent of employees, analyzing their readiness to change jobs across countries like Europe, Asia Pacific and America. And the results of their survey in India were quite shocking. A country with an enormous population of youngsters, the potential is immeasurable. And to see many of these youngsters open to experimenting, the road ahead seems pretty interesting. Meet Rupin. He worked with Audi before joining Google. Within 3 months of joining Google, he was doing well for himself, even becoming one of the youngest to work with the Google marketing team. But one would not imagine someone working at Google being surrounded by guitars and drums. But his passion was elsewhere, and he decided to pursue it.
I worked for one of the best companies. The atmosphere was brilliant. The people that I was working with, creme de la creme, best colleges, premier institutes, all of them. But it gets monotonous. I mean, if you're not really happy at the end of the day.
So does he miss his job?
Okay, there are days. I mean, I had a lot of perks with my old job. It was a very, very comfortable life. This is not at all comfortable. You have to slog it off. You're your sales manager, you're your marketing manager, you're your operations guy. You have to do pretty much everything from calling people up, fixing gigs, negotiating about costs. You don't have a fixed salary at the end of it.
He thought of changing his line completely from IT to music. There was an initial, I thought that would you like to take time off from your job and then pursue music? But he said no, I am very sure I want to make this my life, and he did that, and he's been working very hard at it, and he's finding success, and we are very happy about it.
He's formed a band, plays at various events all around the capital. The money is less, but the satisfaction, he says, is immense.
You can always go back to your corporate life. Jobs aren't going anywhere. But if you think that you're cut out for something and that is your time, you should take that chance, because opportunity will not knock twice. If it feels right, if it feels that you need to do it, I think you should go ahead and do it.
A step many of us would have perhaps shied away from, but the numbers of those like Rupin is on the rise. It might sound easy and all rosy and well and good. If you don't like a job, just switch it up. But it is slightly difficult. We're with a group of people, all of which have changed their jobs at some point in their life, and we're going to get their perspective of whether changing your job is an advisable thing to do. I'm going to start with you. Sure. Why do you think there are more benefits to switching up your job now and then?
So I think looking at the larger perspective, if we look at the reason why people switch jobs, if it's there for a superficial reason like money or location, etc., then there could be problems and hurdles like you mentioned. But if you're essentially searching for what you really want to do, to searching for happiness, that is your zone, that is your niche, then it could take 2 jobs, it could take 3 jobs, it could take 10 jobs. Yeah. And I feel you should stick to it till the time you get what you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is all about. We're not here to work for somebody. That's not the end game in life, right? Yeah. It's about happiness, it's about doing what you want to do. Yeah. And that will require saying no to a lot of things. That will require you to switch a lot of things. And if that's what it takes, I guess you should go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. When we talk about we want to do something that we dream of, passionate about, we should at the end go and do that. But when we're switching jobs, we should not switch jobs due to frustration. We should switch jobs because we want something better for ourselves. Sure, money, location, whatever the basic hurdles are. But when it comes to frustration, your boss is not treating you nice, or some colleague that you don't like is overpowering your decisions in the team. Because of that, you're leaving your job. What will you do tomorrow when your neighbor starts troubling you? You're just gonna switch your home? That's the priority. You need to learn. You need to understand what kind of people you're dealing with on the daily basis. And I think running away, not exactly telling them running away, but hiding from that kind of situation, not fighting it, and just leaving a job and switching somewhere else, you'll belong nowhere. Because more than home, your office is your home. You spend about what, 9-10 hours in an office. So I think facing it, finding a solution for it makes you more stronger, smarter, makes you deal with things. And tomorrow, sure, if you want to do something, you know what are the loopholes, you know what your team is facing on daily basis. You'll be able to correct all that.
What I would like to add to it is that in every job, wherever you are going to reach a point where you will feel that, I can't grow any further in the job. But that doesn't mean that you switch jobs exactly on that point, because it's easy to think that, he said, that, you'll reach a point where you're frustrated with a lot of things. You think that this is not the best job that I am into. But that doesn't mean that you quit at that point. You need to fight that feeling, and you need to see whether you can grow or you can grow in a different way in that same job, because it's not difficult to find an angle in the same job which might be of your own liking. It doesn't mean you quit every time, because what I feel is that when you quit, when you keep quitting after year and year, initially it sounds nice, but after a point, an employer might not take it nicely. They would feel that they would not want to invest in you that much, because they'll feel that if they invest in you and they train you, you would still go and find another job.
We're talking about job hopping. When does it stop? When do jobs turn into professions and build careers? At what stage? It's different for different people to find their passion and find out what they truly love. But there needs to be some sort of limit in terms of, or is it okay? Is it okay to try out different industries continuously?
I think it's perfectly fine to keep on chasing what you really want to do, because who can tell us when it stops? Even we can't tell after 10 years it will stop. And even if you look at some of the most successful business leaders or even scholars in the country or abroad, they have been changing a lot of professions they themselves. Someone is a consultant, someone would change into a tech person, an entrepreneur suddenly, and then do something else a little later, start up a university. So it really depends on how you want to take it and what you really love at that instance. But there should be a plan, and also there should be a goal. Every time when you change a job, you be very clear on what you want to implement in this new job. Did you really achieve that and only then leaving, or are you really cutting out halfway every time that you join a new job and leaving everything in the middle?
Just add one thing real quick. So my dad always told me, it was like when I was young, he would just basically say that, look, if you're young and comfortable, it's probably time to move on. So I would say I think there'll be a period in your life where you actually just want to be comfortable. So it's okay, and you'll be content and happy. And then, I guess that's a cool time to just sort of throw in the towel,
Just when you're like, oh, this is a good job, I enjoy it. I think I'm going to switch.
I'm chilling, yeah, it's fun.
Go ahead, wrap it up for us.
I'll wrap it up saying that every job you hop and everything, you learn something. You take something with you. When you're moving on to another job, you're going to learn something from there. So I think the right time to stop is when you know that, okay, this is what was my learning experience, this is what I have with me, and now I should put it in and be stable, because ultimately you have to come to a point where you want to do something, and like he said, be comfortable in your own zone, be happy, and making other people happy around you also. So I think every job place that you hop and things, they teach you.
You have learnings and
you have learnings, you have teachings, and that's what you carry on with you forever. So I think that's a good thing that you do if you're job hopping.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very positive note to end on. No experience is a bad experience. So if you are thinking of hopping your job, do keep that in mind. I'm sure there's something that you can learn in a bad job. And of course, there are greener pastures ahead of you.
It's time for us to slip into a quick break. But you don't go anywhere, as there's a lot more coming up on the other side.